Hello everyone, join me just around the riverbed as I show you this brand new beautiful Pocahontas piece from the Enesco Couture collection. And this particular line of figurines is an elevated take on the Disney characters' classic looks through many beautiful added embellishments. And can we just all say hooray for Enesco Couture finally doing a Pocahontas piece. She is the very first one in this collection. She was introduced in January 2021, and I was beyond excited when I saw that they were going to release a Pocahontas. And I love all of the elevated fashion elements that they added to her classic look, and I just love how beautiful she looks and realistic. I did include a Jim Shore Pocahontas in the back just to kind of show you a comparison of how she looked in the cartoon. And then how Enesco Couture has changed and elevated her look. So let's go ahead and zoom in. I think her face is beautiful. I love her rosy cheeks and her pouty lips. I love her big brown eyes, but I especially love her hair and how it's blowing across her back, giving it the look of movement, and all of the bright, beautiful, colorful leaves blowing through her hair. It's just so reminiscent of the scene where she's singing Colors of the Wind, where she has her hair and all of those beautiful, colorful leaves blowing and swirling around her. It just takes me back to that song, to that scene, and I just love that song. I love the soundtrack, the movie, the characters, so I just love that it makes me think of that. And then her dress is a lot different from the dress in the movie. It's longer, it looks a little bit looser, it looks more realistic. She's got red fringe on the top and bottom of the dress, and then a blue and red belt tied around her waist. She's still wearing her mother's necklace, however it looks a lot daintier and more subtle than it looks in the cartoon. It's a little more bold in the cartoon. And then she's also got on a silver beaded necklace and then a leathery necklace with some dangling pieces on the bottom. And then she's got a shawl draped around her right shoulder. And this is, I guess it's supposed to be fur. It's got a nice texture. And then the shawl is like a darker shade of tan that goes into a dark shade of brown at the bottom. And I kind of like the look of it being torn. It just kind of looks more realistic. And then she has a tattoo on her right leg, which she doesn't have in the movie. She actually has one on her right arm. However, since the shawl is covering her right arm, I think that's why they put a tattoo on her leg. And then she's wearing moccasins, and I like the little detail of the leather stitching. And then the Enesco Couture website described this figurine as having a powerful pose, which I think is very reminiscent of her character. She's so independent and free-spirited, and she does make a powerful move and statement at the end of the movie. She's got more of that brown leather stitching on the side of her dress. And then we turn her to the back. You can see more of the bright leaves blowing through her hair. And then more of the shawl. I love all of the folds and the creases. It gives it the look of movement, and I love how it kind of comes to a little pile at her feet. Just more of those realistic touches. Speaking of realistic touches, there's also a little outline of her arm underneath the shawl. I actually love that little detail. And then back to the front. And she was released in a set with a Queen of Hearts, and the Queen of Hearts is the very first Queen of Hearts that this collection has done as well. And she was released with the Cruella de Vil. I do have the first version Cruella, so I'll link that video below if you're interested. She was also released with a Tinkerbell, which I think is a really cute one. And I do have the first version Tinkerbell, which is a stunning piece. So if you're interested, I'll link that video below. And then I'll also link this Jim Shore Pocahontas video below as well if you're interested. And I purchased her through Hallmark. She was $75. A lot of websites she's still on pre-order, but you can get her on eBay or, like I said, Hallmark. I think she's being released on most websites next week. So she is very new, and I think worth it. Like I said, this is the first Pocahontas from Enesco Couture de Force. There's not a lot of merchandise of her, so if you're a fan, I highly recommend it. Let's just give one more close-up look. Alright, thank you all for watching. And again, this is my Pocahontas from the Enesco Couture de Force collection.